Let us pray. Armim ka Adonai ki dilitani. Adonai Elohai la'olam odeka amen. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have drawn me up. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever. Amen. So this week is our second week in our Belief in Books sermon series, where we're looking at children's books in order to tell us about the faith that we have, to give us a glimpse of God in the midst of books that were perhaps not written for that purpose, but certainly tell us that nonetheless. And today we have The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires, which I think is just a beautiful story. And I have to admit, I found it just literally looking around the kids section of Barnes & Noble, which is something that I do from time to time because, again, with me and the love of children's books. And I think it is a beautiful tale because not only is this story just simple and beautiful, but it also, the added details in the illustrations that you maybe didn't see from afar, but also in the underlying current of the story it tells itself. So let's review just a little bit. We have a little girl who has her very best friend in all the world, her dog. And she has this great idea that she wants to create this most magnificent thing. And she does this thing all the time, the building of things. And so she's like, this is so easy, no big deal, we can make this happen. But it doesn't happen the way she expects it to, and it gets hard, and it gets frustrating, and she smashes her finger, and that is like the end of the world as we know it. And as anybody who's tried to do anything that didn't go the way they wanted it to, I suspect we all share in the emotions and the feelings of this poor little girl who just wants to create this most magnificent thing. And so it's her dog who says, no, let's take a break. And they go for a walk, and they get some ice cream at the ice cream store, and they see the neighborhood and all of these things until they come up on this row of discarded inventions. And she's able to look at it each of them a little differently. No longer is it, oh, that's my failure, and then that's another failure, and that's another one, and another one, and another one. It's, oh, wait, but if I take this piece from this one, and this piece from that one, and that piece from this one, and I change them, and I put them together, then maybe this most magnificent thing can come together. Maybe it can be the way it is. And so she does, and she works really hard, and the neighbors are at this point in time have figured out that something's going on, not only because the sidewalk is strewn with all sorts of random stuff, but because this little girl is working and doing this hard work, and she finally finishes. And she and her dog get to experience this most magnificent thing, the sidecar that she's built for her scooter, so that her dog can come with her when she goes on scooter rides. And it is the most magnificent thing. And when we pair that with the 1 Timothy text, I think what is fabulous about this story is the reminder that it's not the things in life that matter, right? Timothy is talking about how it is that money is not the ultimate gain. The point of life is not to see who can have the highest number in the bank account, but the point of life is to figure out who can best follow God and who can best reach out and show that love of God to the world. And this little girl is working on this invention, this creation, this magnificent thing, not because she wants the thing itself, but because of the result in the end, because of the community that it creates, because then she can share this love that she has of scootering around the neighborhood with her best friend in the whole world, because I imagine that putting a dog on a scooter without a sidecar is not a successful thing. What do you think, Dan? Can you do it easily? He's thinking real hard. John's like, no, it's not happening, right? And that, I think, is the key. That the way we reach out into the world, the things that we strive for in the world, the things that we let get under our skin to the point where we're willing to just get so frustrated, those things need to seek to bring us closer to God and closer to community, to reach out and show that love, so that in the end, what we are seeking is the most magnificent thing of all, the community of faith, the love of God, the place where we come together to be loved, where we are accepted, where we are welcomed, where we are invited to come deeper and deeper and deeper in. I think sometimes that's an easy thing to do, but often it is so very hard, because the way we envision things in our minds is not always the way they come out, right? I'm going to say, namely, most of us would be done with COVID by now. There may be one or two who are okay staying home all the time. But we're ready to be done. We're ready to sing. We're ready to be unmasked, close to one another, singing our songs with joy. And while a bell and a sign can get us a little ways, what we want more than anything is to be able to be that community. So this day, as we celebrate the love of God, as we come together to live into that community, let us remember that the community, the love of God, the sharing of that love is the key. It is that most magnificent thing to reach out, to seek, to find. Amen.